Hey, SonicBlu Darkfold here. Don't mind me, I was just getting ready for tonight's dinner. And boy, are we got a counter full of stuff. And from the size of these countertops, there is no room for stuff. As you can see, I am loaded down with a lot of stuff. So I'm going to start by breaking down this ground turkey that I have here. And get this going so that way we can show you what it is that we're doing with all of that. Got a while to brown. So let's see. Well, I got 2 packages of Dortego taco seasoning mix. I got 2 cans of black beans. I got 1 big can of refried beans. I got 2 jars of mild taco sauce. Got garlic salt, onion powder, regular sea salt, sour cream, which not much left in there, so I should have remembered to pick up some at the store, but man, food for that next time. Oh yeah, and I got a green onion. Green onion. Dun, 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 dun. That's a good song. Anyway, these green onions are for eating, not for singing or playing. This is a bunch, or actually a half a bunch of cilantro. And down there are my tortillas, tomatoes, avocado. Am I missing? Oh yeah, and cheese. We got queso fresco, which is Mexican crumbling cheese. And we got taco blend cheeses. Well, what are we going to do with all that? Plus I have my trusty Cuisinart out. Instead of using the slap chopper that I picked up, I'm going to be using the Cuisinart because what we're making is going to take all of these products and we are going to make our own salsa. So while that's browning up, let's go ahead and move this over here. We're going to start by making our salsa and get some of the stuff cleared out. So we're going to take these tomatoes, and what we're going to do is with a little steak knife, what we're going to do is just going to take the core right out of that top of that tomato. And I figure use these 2 up first because they're oldest in the refrigerator. Best to use a serrated blade on this, as you can see. It has no problem getting that core out of there. And also get the bottom piece here too. And once you got that out, where'd you go? Come back out. Okay, got those, and I got a couple more of these Roma tomatoes here, and these are Romas. Different shape than the other ones. These ones were cheaper, so I picked up Romas. But the same thing with the Romas as with the regular tomatoes. You can use any type of tomatoes you want. You can use red tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, vine ripened tomatoes. You have your whole family of tomatoes, and just cut the nub off right here. Just get that nub right off like that. So let me get this get started here too real quick. Now you're starting to cook up a little bit. Which means I can turn the fire down just a little tad and make sure that you don't overcook. Okay. So around a little bit, turn the fire down. Now, I haven't even started telling you what we're making yet. Now, you know we're making something Mexican, but we're going to make something different. Today we are going to make a taco lasagna. And it's not like your traditional lasagnas like you were used to from Italy or anything like that. This comes from the strait of Central America, Mexico. Hoping that the Cuisinart would make this job a little easier. Apparently not. That's okay. Those nice chunky bite-sized tomatoes there. Chunky. And I'll just toss them in there. Do that same thing with that big guy. That's the center of the tomato right there. That's exactly what that is. All the skin is gone, but the center of the tomato stayed. That's weird. Alright, now, take those big chunks. Okay, now, let's reach for this one. What we're going to do, go ahead and just pour everything out right into your bowl there, or in this case the pot. And while you still got a lot of tomato in there, go. Now let's get this onion chopped up a little bit. Cutting the big onion as far down as you can so that it can fit into a food processor. I'm going to cut this into 4 sections. And then sections down in half into quarters. So you're going to, once again, cut these down into eighths. Let's do it right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and just feed you guys through here.
please don't try running the blender without the lid on.
You won't be able to because it's got an anti-lock mechanism that if the lid is off, it won't run. Okay, pulsate, 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 pulsate. Since we got a lot of product to work with, I'm going the quicker route. Otherwise, I just chop this up myself in the chopper. Now take all your onion that you've used so far. Drop it right into your bowl. Take the blade out, it'll make it a lot easier. Put that back on. And go for your second half of the onion. Mix here. I'm neglecting my meat, but there's so many steps to this. Chop up some more onions. Kind of give it a few pulses. Just pulse it a few times. That'll get you a little less onion juice in your chopping. And there you go. That's what we wanted right there. That, if you can get them like that, that's perfect. That is absolutely divine right there. Okay, fresh chopped onion going in. Put the blade there. With your finger, you're going to go around the side of your bowl. Use your hand to scrape it out of there. And continuing on. Now, with your cilantro. I choose to do this with a knife as opposed to a regular chopper. So what we're going to do is cut the stems right off. Set those to the side. You might want to fish some of the extra leaves off of that. And with the knife, we're just going to cut down our cilantro like that. Having a few stems in there is okay. It's not going to kill your food, but you want more leaf, less stem in your cilantro, in your salsa making cilantro here. Okay. Chop your cilantro in this. There's not enough room on this countertop. Can you see this? This is just ridiculous. How anybody can be a culinary chef in this kitchen is beyond me, because the way they designed this thing obviously didn't have Alice Brady in mind. And there we go. Take your cilantro and dump it right into the mix here. Alright, and then with some of these ones with stems on them, kind of set those aside. That can be used as a garnish. So if you want to retain some of your cilantro for a garnish, feel free to do that. I'm just taking some that didn't get cut off of these stems here. And just set them aside, and we're just going to garnish our dish when it's done. Pretty. Definitely those ones. Those are pretty. Okay, next, let's go for a green onion. And we're going to chop these down. So using a knife, kind of cut them down into small sizes. A little green onion will go a long, long way. It down to where the green starts to end. It's okay to have a few light green ones in there too, because that's where the strongest flavor is at. It's down here by the roots. Down here at the bulbs, actually. And that should do us. Discard the rest. The green onion is actually going to go into our lasagna itself. Let's go over here. Just stir together until everything is well blended together. And we really only needed just the one jar of taco sauce. And just mix that together and you made yourself your own salsa. Now come the seasoning parts. Now we need to salt this with garlic salt, since we don't have much left, and we're going to probably need all of this. We should actually use more, but for an amount like this, it's best to add about a tablespoon of garlic salt and a tablespoon of onion salt. Let's add a full tablespoon of salt. Think about making your own salsa. The chunkier it is, the better it'll be. Now Since you don't really see any tomato chunks in there, except for the ones that we put in there from the food processor, I can actually take some extra tomato into there because we only got out 4. I can actually take a couple more Romas and just cut them up, put them right in. Let's put our salt away, put our onion powder away. Let's put this jar away because this will be my backup jar, and then I can just put it here. Alright, that's all the Romas. Let's take our tomato, throw this in the bowl there, nice chunky tomato. Oops. Take our bowl, our pot of freshly cut Roma tomatoes and mix that in, and as you can see, chunky, chunky, chunky. And let that kind of mix in real good with all the seasonings, the cilantro, the onion, tomato, nice big chunks. This is going to be a chunky garden salsa. And this is what's going as our sauce in the lasagna. Now, you're probably wondering what to do with these avocados. We're going to use these as a plate garnish. So, those won't be going into our lasagna, so that way you can choose to have it or not. Next step, what do we do next? Actually, let's tend to our meat. This recipe will have you jumping from place to place, area to area. Now, take a look here and see these big chunks here? You definitely don't want to have too many big chunks. You want to break those chunks down as much as you can. So that way you have a perfectly good skillet full of ground turkey. Now we're using 2 pounds here. Next, refried beans. There it comes. Right. Now, we're going to need a separate spoon to stir that. For our beans, it's best if you have thin beans, not thick. And I'll tell you why, because you're going to be using this as a layer. So we're going to turn on our burner.
Do you want this
Mash
one?
those beans down. We're going to be adding some water to this to thin it out a little bit. Just a little, not too much. Because what we don't want is a paste like that. We want to thin this out. Beans.
Okay.
The beans don't take very long to cook at all, so what we're going to do is turn that down to low. Come over here to the sink. And just add a touch of water. Not too much, just a little touch. Stir it in. And just work with a little bit at a time. We're going to need to thin this out. So look at these beans, a little thinner now. That is what we want. We want to be able to spread the beans easily. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. That's good. Okay, check on our meat again. And as you can see, it's cooking up nicely.
And all the liquid cooked out.
There's no liquid in there. It all cooked out of there. So let's get our water going. We need 2/3 cup. 2/3 cup, that's 1.5 cups. Of water. 1.5 cups of water. Going in. And go for the Ortega taco seasoning mix. McCormick's, I would not know what to decide upon. Get some of that over here and get it all nice and seasoned evenly. Okay, turn this to low. You're on low. Okay, now, next, put our tortillas aside, put our onion aside, sour cream aside, garlic aside. Speaking about garlic, our next step is to add 4 cloves of garlic to that meat. Okay, that's 2. And 2. 4 cloves of garlic. Now, add in the refrigerator. Continue stirring that garlic into your meat with 4 cloves of minced garlic. Our next step, we're going to take our flour tortillas, and I'm going to show you what to do with them. Alright, now take your 8 tortillas in a stack. I like to cut my tortillas into strips, just all the way down like that. Why do we do this? This is going to serve as a substitute for the lasagna noodles. By cutting them down into strips, you don't have to use such excessive force to cut your lasagna when it's done. and just cut them down into strips like so. And if you need more, I got another package. Now some people will just take the round tortillas, just lay them down there and hope that you can cut into them without a chainsaw, but you can just take all of these strips and just lay them over. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And we've got a casserole dish over there that we're going to do so. Give this another quick stir. Make sure the garlic is well cooked. Okay. And check on our beans. Make sure they're still nice and smooth. And yes, they are. Now, let us begin by layering our lasagna. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's going to cook in there for approximately 30 to 45 minutes. Now, you're going to reach for one of these. Now, before we even put the tortilla down...
We need counter space.
Yes, we do. Very desperately. While we're at it, open these cans of black beans. And we're going to drain them. Because we don't want juice. Look at all that juice. You want to do away with as much of the juice as you can, so get all that juice out of there. First layer, salsa. And what we're going to do is take the spoon and spread salsa on the bottom. Okay, now once you got it covered, just the bottom layer there of your homemade salsa. Now, we're going to lay down some strips of tortilla all the way across like that. Even if you have to overlap it a little bit, that's fine. And save those strips for a little later. Next layer. What should we do? Beans. Now you can layer this any way you want. You can do beans first, meat first, but as long as you do the first two steps, the tortilla on top of a layer of salsa first. That is first and foremost, that is key. You have to do it that way. Anything else you do on top of that is all entirely up to you. And just dollop it down. Give it a little spread with the back of the spoon there, like that. Go around and around and around and around. Until you got your layer of beans. We'll need more beans. So, next layer. Let's do the black meat. I'm going to try to get that all in there. Now remember, this is a very large casserole dish we're working with too, so usually it'd be a lot smaller of a casserole dish, so if we happen to run out of ingredients, I was planning on using something a little bit smaller, but since we're a hungry household, I went with the bigger one.
On the camera it blends.
Does it?
Yeah, so that's why I'm zoomed in.
Dig it. Looks like we'll have just enough meat for this meat layer. And what you want to do is thicken with meat. Just anywhere that you see patches that need the meat. And it's taking 2 pounds exactly to put the meat layer down. And let's get on this side now. Kind of help it along with the spoon here. As long as you got 2 pounds worth of meat in that meat layer. There we go. A little bit more here. That.
I guess everybody's dish would be a different size also. This is
really big. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a really big dish, so you'll probably be using the 9 by 13 inch. This is the 9 by 15 or 16 inch. It's a big Pyrex dish. Beans. Actually, we might not even need another can of beans. Now, next, let's get the black beans. You don't even have to cook these because these will cook on their own. So right out of the can, just tap, tap, tap. Going all over this layer with black bean. Get it as evenly spread as much as possible because you only probably need just the 1 can. But you can add 2 if you really like your beans. You can add 2 cans. In fact, let's do that. And this will cover up just nicely. Now we're starting to look like a lasagna. Okay. And now, can is done. Let's go for our crumbled cheese now. Okay, now get the queso fresco if you can. It'll come in a block like this. And what you do is you crumble it down. What I'm going to do is just crumble it in. Just like this. And it's a crumbling cheese. That's basically the perfect style of cheese to go in the middle of this lasagna. So just get it all over like that. Speckle it all over the top.
Wait, next door.
Or just from Miller. When we lived on Miller. Okay, let's get another layer of tortilla. And in squares. Okay, now that is nice and covered, and we got some more strips left over for another lasagna. We probably won't be needing any more strips, so now what we're going to do is go over the top of this with more salsa. More salsa. There's always green onion. Just top it. Just top it off with green onion, and then top it up with cheese. Now, we won't be able to put any more of the strips on. Get rid of the Caesars. But we will need to put cheese. And we're just going to dust over the top of this taco blend cheese.
Hey, Yoders.
Who knows?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, just a little more than 2 cups. So we actually might need some of this. Just top it with some good old Kroger cheese and fill in some of the spots that didn't get cheese.
Actually, I wonder if we can put a cookie sheet under that.
You're
so
going to
it
have
doesn't-
to, yes.
Eh.
A cookie sheet will be placed underneath to catch all the drippings because you're going to need that. Otherwise, you're going to smell a burning in your oven when it hits the bottom and stays there and it burns to the bottom of your oven, and it is a pain in the neck to clean out. So it is highly advised placing a cookie sheet under this. And that is how we layer a taco lasagna. Now, it uses 3 cups of shredded taco blend cheese. I'm saving the 4th cup for myself. With the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, let's pop her in. And first, grab me a cookie sheet. Place the cookie sheet on the 2nd shelf. Place the casserole dish directly over where you placed the cookie sheet. Any drippings will go onto that. And now we wait for 30 to 45 minutes or until that cheese is melted. We really didn't need to cover it, but oh well. Now we have all of these strips left over. What do we do with these? Well, you can clean these off of the sauce, but what you can do is you can cut them down even more, make little tortilla chips out of them, so that you can have for the rest of your salsa. These soft avocados to make our plate garnish. Because the softer they are, the easier the peel will get out of there. And then cut slices like so, nice and thin. Beautiful green colored avocados. Take some vegetable oil. And put in just enough, like that, just enough. Cover the bottom and have just a tiny pool. Turn your burner on to high and get this heated up. Did I turn it on? Yeah, it did. Sometimes I don't hear the whew. Now, when you work with flour tortillas and try to fry them, it will tend to bubble up a lot faster than corn tortillas. So you definitely want to be easy in, easy out, no messing about. And for that purpose, we need to get us our spider. And we'll just drop a few down. Just to give it a test to see how well doing this amount will work as the oil heats. Just a few. Take your spoon. Since it's flour tortillas, these things will form little pillows. As your oil heats up, And this is the same type of tortillas they used to make Mexican pizzas at Taco Bell, or flour tortillas. So just turn the bubbly sides down, put the other side. There you'll have your flour tortilla chips, or strips in this matter. When they're golden brown like that here and like this here on both sides, you take them out with some of the excess oil on them. And that way you can take it right over into your duster, start dusting these with cinnamon and sugar. And back in the old days, I think I know what cinnamon looks like. Now back in the old days at Taco Bell, we used to have this thing called cinnamon crispas instead of cinnamon twists like they have now. The crispas were in the form of large triangle-sized shapes that were sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar. But nowadays we have the cinnamon twists. So what we're looking for is a nice thorough color like that there, but not too overdone like that there. Because according to Taco Bell, that would be unacceptable and then would have to be thrown away and you have to start all over again. This is what we used to do in the old days of working at Taco Bell. Only they weren't shaped like strips like this, they were actual triangles. Now when some of the oil is still on them, take them right out when they're done. Right like that, and make sure that they're all coated with the oil. In fact, you know, you can sprinkle some more on there too. Just sprinkle some of the oil onto them because you're going to need that for the salt, the cinnamon and sugar.
Should I turn this off?
Yeah, turn that off. Go ahead and sprinkle some of that oil onto the finished product. And what we're going to do, it's good and coated with a little oil. Now, what I've done in the duster here is I've taken a half a cup of cinnamon and half a cup of sugar and equally placed it into this pie pan where we're going to use this shaker. So carefully, while they're still hot, while they're still moist, give it a dusting. And now you have a little dessert. Right, now, set that aside and there you have cinnamon crisps. A very delightful idea to do with the rest of your strips. If you don't know what to do with them, do it like that. A nice cinnamon and sugary treat to have on the side of your taco lasagna. Try one. Good, huh? Yeah, let's see what Wolfgang thinks of one of the cinnamon treats. Cinnamon crisps.
And you actually made these, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Bowsy.
Yeah, Bowsy's over here dang on.
Hey, baby girl.
Sleeping. Or trying to. Actually, these are really good.
And what you're pretty much eating is a strip version of cinnamon crispas from Taco Bell. Good thing we laid down that cookie sheet, isn't it, folks? The cheese is now starting to melt and looks like browning on the top. And when you get to that point, turn off the oven. You are done. We're going to reach in and grab that. But what am I missing here? I can't just reach in there into a hot stove, pull out a really hot casserole dish without dropping it on the floor to see how hot it is. We need a little protection on my hands here. I mean, what am I paying you guys for magic for? Come on. Magic of the kitchen from the searing heat. Protect my hands with something neat. No, not quite. I didn't really burn myself, and the little oil burn I had just doesn't, I don't really need this. No, I'm talking about my oven mitts. So maybe I should specify. Wonders of the kitchen, let me repeat. I need my oven mitts because those are what's neat. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the oven mitts. Now. Ooh, ah. Oh, that's so heavy. This is a heavy beast. But look at that. That's what we want. And see? Splotch, 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 splotch. Only 4 areas dripped out, and that's where the corners were. All right. Well, I say we cut this bad boy open, get somebody else to do the dishes, because I am exhausted. Plus, I'm going to be making a dessert later. First, I need a spatula. That is a spatula, good. And give me something to serve it with, or onto. No, I'm confusing the magic. Give me something to serve it onto. That is a spoon. That's not what I had in mind. plate me. There we go. There's 3 of them here. Wow, magic worked a little better than I thought. Now, watch out, that's hot. All right, now, I'm gonna serve up one of these plates here. Now, what we're gonna do first and foremost, I'm gonna just take a few slices of our avocado, lay them down.
Camera in the way.
Yep. So just take some of the avocado slices, lay them down onto the plate. This is going down for our plate decor. And you can do it like this. Usually I like to do about 5. Like that. Maybe since this one's small, I use this one on this side. So about 6. Make sure they're all pointed like toward the plate like that. Just like that. Now, dip in for a mega chunk of taco lasagna. First we're going to cut this with a metal spatula, and hopefully the flour tortilla has cut down as well. And that's what I was afraid of. The cheese got a little too well done, but that's okay. We've done this before in other lasagnas. I'm pretty sure you've had your fair share too. Now carefully spoon this out with the spatula. It always helps to have the plate ready. And on top of where you laid down your avocado, lay down a square of salsa, or square of lasagna. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Add some chips on the side. To top this, with a couple of sprigs of cilantro. And there you have it. A taco lasagna. But don't just take our word for it here at the studio to see how good this is going to taste. What do you say we ask other people for their words on seeing how they're going to enjoy some Mexican-style lasagna? Oh, Wolf Dog, care to carry yourself into here so you can get a bounty of this Mexican delight?
Nice little thing there for the
Nice little
garnish there.
presentation, yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
It tastes really good.
Well, Wolf Dog seems to really like taco lasagna.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna sneak.
I got a little surprise for you.
What?
I've never made this before.
Really?
Really.
You've never
made this before. But I decided, now honesty is the best policy, and in keeping honest with Mexican food,
Wow.
what would you substitute if you were to make a lasagna, like from your traditional Italian lasagna? You got your noodles, you got your marinara sauce, you got your cheeses. Well, what if we were to substitute all that and turn it into a Southwestern or Central American flavor like this one? Well, you can't really do the noodles because it just throws the flavor off. So what do you use in front of the noodles? Instead of the noodles, you cut these down into strips, into the tortillas down into strips. Lay them down. Okay, good. What about sauce? Salsa. And instead of just going with some jar salsa, I made my own. And so, homemade salsa. Now, cheeses. You got the crumble cheese. That was Kiva's suggestion. And I didn't even know that Mexicans had crumbly cheese. But they sure
What
do.
was it called again?
It's called queso fresco.
There we go.
In Spanish for fresh cheese. Queso fresco. And so we use that in the middle. Now over the top, instead of mozzarella and Parmesan, we're using Mexican blend. And of course
Mexican
adding your
taco.
Mexican and taco blend cheeses. And of course, not to be forgetting what goes into every Mexican dish, beans and meat. Lots of it. Now it's my turn to test how well this came out. Because I don't even know. That is quite good. Okay, well, I'm convinced. All these flavors mix so perfectly well together. So try this at home, exactly the way you saw us do it here, and you can't go wrong with taco lasagna. Oh no. Oh! Oh! Delicious. We're just using this as a vessel to keep this. Just put that. What? No. I need more room in my kitchen. I don't have any. Okay, stay. I have a little bit of Ortega left over, so I'll just go ahead and dump the rest of it because that's not going to really make a difference on a meal. So I'll just mix there. Oh! How dare you splatter!
Pause for a second.
Okay. I got something on the lens.
Apparently.
Maybe it was splattering a little too much. Turn it on high. So now, look at the beans now. Nice and thin, just what we, oops.
A little too close.
A little too close for comfort. Take all 8 tortillas. We need the burrito-sized flour tortillas. We need 8 of them.
You had that upside down.
I did?
Yeah.
You're right, I did. Well, that's the right side up of the bag, but the thing is upside down. You have to hold it out like this. How am I supposed to know? Because the Ziploc is now down here. So anyway, we need the 8 burrito-style tortillas. Yeah. Let me get rid of that now. Magic away. Give me some mix that I can handle all of that No. Give me the power to protect my hands from the searing heat. I just f***ed that up, didn't I? So, I'm gonna need a little... I got plenty of that.